So I was listening to this woman today, and she was basically having a breakdown, talking about how no one celebrated her for Mother's Day, and she was just talking about all of these things about how hard it is being a single mother. And I realized that there is really something going on in the psyche of a lot of women who are single mothers. I know ideally a lot of people don't wish to be a single mother, but being that we have so many examples, generation after generation, of these situations, one would think that we would learn something and make better choices. And I'm not here to condemn anyone because I know there's different situations, different ways that women become single mothers. But in life, when you see things happen in a way that you don't want it to go for you, you try to align yourself in a way to where those things don't occur. And I just find that when you have a certain mentality about certain things, it's easier for you to not have that be your situation. So let me get into it. When you have a child as a woman, your mentality should be, when I have a child with this man, that's it. That's done. This is my person forever. When you think about it that way, it makes you take things very seriously. You're not going to just have a child with anyone if you know, hey, this is my end all be all. If I have a child with this person, I don't get anyone else. That makes you and likely puts you in a position to make more conscious choices when you're dating, when you're having intercourse, all of those things. You have to have that mentality. What got me on this point was there was a part in her rant where she was speaking about how hard it is to date as a single mom, how she's constantly trying to date and find a man to where her children can be, and I'm using her words, can be in a two income, two parent household. But the men she's encountering are so manipulative. That struck a nerve with me because you should not be looking for someone to help you take care of you and your kids in 2026. I know stepdads exist, they're amazing, they're heroes, but that's not the ideal situation you should want for your child. You should want your child to be with their two biological parents. You want to give your child and children the opportunity to have the loving relationship with their own father, not looking for someone to be a father figure. You want to get it right the first time. I'm not saying he has to be perfect. He won't be perfect. No one's perfect. But you want to have a kid with a decent human being, a decent man who y'all can live, be together, and raise your child slash children with. If you go into it with that mentality, again, you're likely to make better choices. If you have the idea that a stepdad is an option, you likely won't be as careful with who you choose as the father of your child. But if you go in with, hey, the man I have the child with is the only option, I don't have any other options, this is it, you're likely to make better choices. And it's important because women are very contradictory. So many women act like men are just so scary. They're so terrifying. They're creeps. They're this, they're that. Beware of men. But y'all are comfortable with having a stepfather situation, having children that do not belong to this man around them. And women are doing it quick. There are women that are bringing their children out on first dates. You don't even know this guy. You claim that men are so scary, but you're comfortable putting yourself in a situation where men are going to be around your children who are not theirs. I'm not saying that men can't be a danger to their own children. We've seen that that's happened. Men can be a danger to their children. Women can be a danger to their children, and are and have been. But you put yourself in a better situation by it at least being his own kid, because men are more likely to love and treat their own children better than children who are not theirs. Life is too hard. Life is too expensive in 2026. This economy is too bad to be putting the burden of your children as well as yourself onto another human being. You shouldn't even want to be in that situation. You want to make the right choice the first time, because not only are you doing yourself a disservice, men that you're looking to date a disservice, you're doing your children a disservice. Your children deserve to have their own father, not you looking for somebody to cosplay as their father. It's not right. And again, I love stepdads. I appreciate stepdads. They're heroes. They're amazing. But it's not fair. And it's becoming way less common. There's too much information out here. There's too many men who have been stepfathers speaking out on how underappreciated they were and are. There's just too much. So you just want to make better decisions, because no one owes you anything. You owe those children as their mother to put them in the best situation for success. And your children are more likely to succeed coming from a loving home of two parents, two biological parents, not them watching you struggle trying to do it on your own, because children require so much. They need more than even just their parents. They really need a village. They need grandparents. They need friends. They need cousins. They need aunts and uncles. They need everyone, all hands on deck. And putting your child in a position to have a father, a good father, should be the bare minimum, because you choose that. You get to choose who you have your kids with. You get that choice most of the time. I'm not talking about a grape situation. Majority of people get to choose that person when you lay down and have those children. So you have to think about these things. Everybody wants a YN. Everybody wants a bad boy. Everybody wants the tall and attractive guy when it's convenient. But is that the guy that's going to be the best partner for you? Is that the guy who's going to support you through your pregnancy? Is that the guy who you want your children to be raised by and to be like? These are the questions we have to ask before we lay down. It's too much laying down and not enough thinking. We have to think and make better choices, because the man who is probably going to be the best father for your kids, he's maybe not going to be 6'2". Maybe he's not going to make all this money. Maybe he's not going to be all these things that you claim you like on paper. What's important is, what kind of integrity does this man have? What type of character does he have? And how does he feel about you? Because a lot of men aren't in you and your children's lives because they don't mess with you like that. You want to be with a man who loves and adores you. It doesn't matter what he looks like. It doesn't matter what he has and what he doesn't have. What level does this man mess with you? How much does he like and adore you? That is going to play a huge part on your outcomes. A lot of women, when the guy really rocks with you and really loves you, likes you, cares about you, sees you, respects you, you're not going to be a single mom. It's just less likely to happen. A lot of single mothers are women who had kids with guys who don't really like them like that. That's just what it is. So we have to make better choices. We have to stop making excuses because no one's going to do it for you. And you have to lay in the bed that you make. And having a baby with a piece of crap dude is not it. And a lot of women are doing that and blaming the guy and not taking accountability for the fact that you put yourself in this position. Yes, men can be manipulative, whatever you're talking about. We're all manipulative. Women are just as manipulative, if not more. It's not about that. Most of the time, these men showed you signs that they didn't mess with you like that before you had a kid. And if they didn't, you probably didn't vet them long enough and you slept with them too soon for you to see it. Having a child and having children is serious business. It's not to be played with, and it has become overly normalized to play with it. And we have to stop. And I feel for this woman. I feel for women who are going through it, but we have to talk about it so others don't make those same choices, because it only hurts you in the long run. And I'm telling you this out of love. I'm not telling you this out of judgment. I'm not telling you this to put you down. It's because I care. And I don't want you or your child to suffer. I don't want the child's father to suffer, because it's hard. A lot of men, I don't really believe, want to be deadbeats, ideally, but they don't want to deal with you. And they just choose to not deal with you over living a life of misery, having to deal with you just to be in their child's life. So let's just not put each other in these situations. Don't put men in the situation to have to be a deadbeat, and don't put yourself in a situation to have a child with no support and doing it all by yourself. Everybody loses, especially the child. So I love y'all. Thanks for listening as always, and I'll talk to you soon. You have a blessed day.